and I'm going to hand it over to Carrick, who has far more culinary skills than I do. I apologize for that meme. After all, I put cheese on fried rice.
Oh, what the hell? You can't just drop that as you get off the mic. Milky, we're going to have words in the break. But you're not important. Your culinary skills are very unimportant. What matters is League of Legends skill. And these two teams are boiling over with it. As Luxury, we've called them Luxury coin flips. Will it land on head today your way? Or are you thinking that Team Secret with the big brain Rock have come out on top?
I really like Secret's adaptations here. There's something the analysts didn't touch on, but we saw glimpses of why it's so potent in, I think, LEC last week, is the Viego-Renata combination. Buying more time for Viego to get his crucial first reset, also giving him attack speed to work with, and movement speed, and his own movement speed and attack speed steroid. Pushes him over the edge. I really like this combination, and Zhu Hao is the best Renata player. Now, Clockwork talked about this bot lane matchup and being potentially of a more dangerous nature, but this is not how Zhu Hao feels about it apparently, because he has brought Ignite to his matchup into the Nautilus, no extra safety, they're going all out, and I'm excited for this bot lane matchup, because Eddie and Zhu Hao together have been one of the greatest assets for Team Secret.
Yeah, and this is this thing about the Renata that sometimes get swept under the rug, because she is vulnerable to something like Nautilus. If the hook lands, Renata is really vulnerable, but she has such a long-range auto attack. This is to the point where when she first came out, people were trying Hail of Blades on her, because you could just walk up, bang, 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 from range that melee supports just couldn't respond at. And with a Caitlyn alongside you, yeah, if a Nautilus hook lands, things go wrong, but just don't let the hook land.
Well, that's always easier to say than to actually do against Nautilus. The only reason the champ is still in the meta is because the hook is an interesting ability. But Zhu Hao, he fills me with confidence, and playing Nautilus into these kinds of lanes is also not that easy on his side. He's gone Glacial as well, so CBL is not really that tanky himself, especially before he hits a crucial mass of extra HP or anything, so he can be burst down by Eddie, by Zhu Hao. Zhu Hao can push him with the Q, with a handshake, onto a trap from Zhu Hao, so it's a very dangerous lane to navigate, and we immediately see Secret dominating most of these lanes, mid lane and bot lane with Prio, bot lane already working on the first plating, I think, while the top lane, as everyone would expect, is under pressure. In the early game, didn't go for the early mana sustain on for Hero. That's a little curious for me. I would always expect the Doran's Ring to come in, especially in this rune setup for the Malphite, to just spam Q and poke the Jace to a more manageable HP total, but Artifact under pressure in mid lane.
Yeah, he's in trouble. There's the Sonic Wave landing. Artifact will go down, but Viego is here. Can he actually catch Blazes on the way out? He can. Very well done there. He now takes over the LeBlanc, runs forward. I don't think he's got the damage onto Killer Queen, but does give him a reminder. So 1 for 1, but first blood to Luxury.
No flashes invested from Luxury. I thought they were overcommitting under the tower into the Victor gravity field, but it seems like they were getting away with, quite literally, murder. Or at least it's a 1-for-1 trade, but it's still a first blood and summoners forced from Artifact. So I think overall still a positive play from Luxury. They drafted this LeBlanc-Lee Sin combination for early pressure and attacking the strongest player from the last series Team Secret played yesterday with a pentakill for Artifact. Putting him behind on the back foot is certainly something you need to do to control Secret's mid and late game.
Really, really is. The question is, does Coded die at level 6? Because we have VCS top laners that do not respect the Malphite level 6.
So first of all, I want to praise him, because this laning phase has been stellar from the side of Coated. We see Malphite into Jace in very different permutations. We see a lot of lanes where Malphite gets away in the early game with more CS than he should probably, because even though people talk about Jace into Malphite as a counter matchup for the Jace, so the Malphite countering the Jace, it's not an early laning phase. Jace does not get countered by anything in the early laning phase, he still wins. this one, and you can see Coated is actually putting in a lot of work to dominate Hero, constantly put the pressure on him, push him under the tower, and Hero is only, look at his table scrap item build, thrift shopping there to get anything. Penguin is ready to make another move on mid lane. It's dangerous, Blazes has flash though.
Yeah, but he manages to sidestep everything. The chain actually lands onto Artifact, but there's no ability to follow up. So, good escape there by Penguin. But they want to keep this going. I really wish we were looking at mid. There we go. Nothing does happen, just a ward being cleared out. But Killer Queen still aggressing. Misses the Q as Blazers has used the W. Chains land, but Penguin gets out easy.
Yeah, the reason Team Secret actually overcommitted there, seemingly, was Artifact hit level 6. So Artifact had a whole nother ability unlocked compared to Blazes, and that immediately pushed Luxury on the back foot. A little fortunate for Secret. I'm not entirely sure how he was ahead in experience. I guess Killer Queen shared a lot of the experience from the last wave because of the gank. So Luxury missing the mark only very slightly. If LeBlanc hits 6, she probably can double Tether and run down Artifact or Penguin pretty easily. But in the end, Team Secret, because of the mid lane shenanigans, is gonna have first priority on the first Dragon. Penguin also hitting level 6, so we are moving to the more exciting parts of the mid game now. As in 1 minute, there's also gonna spawn the second objective.
This is risky. Diving on Malphite. There it is. Unstoppable force being used. Killer Queen's tanking up the tower. He goes low, but not low enough. It got dicey, but in the end, it's well done.
I don't quite like the flash from Hero. I think he should have tried to get back to the tower to really push the Lee Sin under tower and commit, let him commit to the dive and force him to die to this one. It was played nicely to hit both of them with the ultimate, but I think the flash should immediately follow in the other direction to really
go
make
behind
them
your
chase.
tower.
Yeah. To be fair to him, he was locked under he was CC'd for the whole time as Killer Queen invested his ultimate, so was only frame perfect flash could have saved him there. In the end, he used both flash and ultimate, so now he's a little bit vulnerable to re-dive, as now... Okay.
Juha does have to use his flash, but one thing to note, and this is something we should always be tracking with Caitlyn lanes, is Yue, what's the number on that tower?
Yeah, 2 platings down already. It's Enchanter plus Caitlyn, so it's doing its work. 2 platings might not quite be enough to go into mid-game in an even state. Caitlyn against Jinx is a very interesting matchup in terms of scaling, because in my opinion, in competitive, if played well, Caitlyn can actually outscale Jinx compositions under certain conditions, but Jinx much stronger on 2 items and 3 items than Caitlyn. Then at 4 items, Caitlyn takes over again. So this Caitlyn really needs a little bit of acceleration through... she can also rely on the Viego to take over for a brief period in the mid-game and then wait for a 4th item to drop in. But it's always nice to have the Caitlyn go through a stronger mid-game than traditionally expected of her. And so far, I think Luxury is actually keeping up much better than expected if we just look at the positioning. Uh-oh, that's a kill.
No, that's not good. Eddie, you can't be doing that.
And he had flash ready as well. He just got caught by a rogue Q from CBL, and that's really not great. They're not going to really funnel a lot of gold into Vit, but they don't have to. It's much more important for them to deny the advancement of the Caitlyn. As we just touched upon, the Jinx is going to scale anyway. Jinx gets money all the time. She's an 84 CS. She's in a decent state. 84 is actually really high for 9 minutes, especially with such a contested laning phase. And Luxury is free to play around topside now. Hero no flash. It's going to be hard to dive though. Uh-oh.
Yeah, just rips out the ult to clear the wave. He wants to try and deny this first brick if he can. Shelly not playing quite nicely. Wow, really denying the slap. I think this is going to be a tower take, and Hero, you need to be careful here.
Hero's really putting in a lot of work to put Killer Queen behind. Yeah, this was nicely done. Okay, Artifact also smurfing as always. Gets the 25 gold for free. That's always a nice prize. But yeah, I like this aggressive approach from Hero because it's really hard for them to kill him. Look at his itemization. He went for the best armor item in the early game. As we have some action in the top lane. What is happening?
That we do, as Killer Queen's been taken incredibly low, but they're trading back onto Hero. Now Penguin is entering the fight, and he'll be able to handle this one. No! Heartbreak! There we go. Perfect stuff. Coded tries to move it forward, but can't actually find it. So Penguin will be adding a second to his name.
Apparently we are dropping some frames, but Penguin
We
is
are,
too, because that wasn't the greatest execution. He gets the job done, though. I'm not entirely sure what's happening, if it's on their
It's
side
not
or
us.
on
It's
our
just
side.
the fade. It's the fade. We can't do anything.
That's unfortunate.
Stuff
Apologies.
that we have to use. There's nothing we can do. The frame drops are not on our side. It's unfortunate, but regardless, a kill picked up on the top side there for Secret, bringing things back to very close to even. Only 500 gold between these teams.
Yeah, this game has a very strange dynamic so far, because both teams are making positive plays, active plays, looking for an opportunity to break open the game, but it's kind of backfiring on themselves on the side where the positive plays are happening. For Team Secret, mostly the bot lane and just 2v2 prowess pushing into the enemy team's territory, and then Eddie overextending, so a free kill over to Luxury. And now Luxury making a positive move on the top side, it gets punished by an overextension and just Hero playing well with and knowing his tankiness. So yeah, that's a nice second kill for Penguin, and he is one of the most crucial players in this composition in the whole game, I'd argue. The 2 kills for the Viego, with an accelerated Renata in the back pocket. Sounds like a decent teamfight setup for Secret.
It for sure does, as that tower has finally fallen, but Coded has been Malphite ulted. It's a good flash over the wall, but Hero doesn't want to let him go. Rolls another rock, just needs to give him the slap and the clap.
That's a Dragon 2, but now Luxury in a good position to punish.
That's a Renata ult going out across the team. Penguin needs to find a kill. He can't do it. Killer Queen managing to get away. No, he'll burn down to that Renata Ignite. CBL going low as well. Has a Chaos Storm ticking on top of him as Artifact gets that kill. Eddie on the run is trying to deal as much damage as he can. And now Vit is spooled up and ready to go. Blazers is using that clone really well to block any damage, but it's not quite enough as he will allow his ADC to die. Blazers will escape. But a bloodbath in the Dragon Pit.
You can say that again. Gigantic skirmish leading to domination from Secret all across the map. Overextension from Coded for the tower. It is very juicy. You want that first tower gold. It's 610 gold. So actually he trades up, even giving up the kill. But the kill will accelerate Hero and get him to item power spikes where Coded really can't contest anything anymore. First item actually going with the Frozen Heart there. Also means no one can kill him in the foreseeable future, especially if LeBlanc is nowhere close to him. So in Team Secret, the other side, of course, much more important. We're going to see the replay here. Okay, we're actually replaying the Malphite kill. Well, this is Malphite. This is what Malphite does. Yep. He presses Q and R, and then you die. Oh, speaking of which...
Penguin using the ultimate. Hero gets the kill.
Ah, Coded.
Viego.
Coded is playing like Coded plays. As we don't have time to talk about anything, because apparently people are just dying left, right, and center, but this is a tendency we've seen with Coded many, many times. Looking at his laning phase in isolation, we know he's a great laner. We know he can actually keep up with the best of the best in the VCS context. He has solo killed Kiaya countless of times. But then again, when the mid-game, the late-game hit, he has some propensities to go into the territory where he shouldn't be, to die rather effortlessly for the enemy team to pick up some extra kills. So it's really not what should happen, as Eddie is trying for the solo kill.
He does get it, but now he's got to deal with CBL bearing down on him. He does have teammates coming, and with the reposition, he's safe. He's actually moving forward, drops down a trap, needs to be careful of Killer Queen, but Penguin wants to make this his problem. He doesn't have Heartbreaker, though. He is very far ahead. There's the Renata ult, just to buy space. Penguin, again, moving over, has the bailout on top of him. Artifact has picked up a kill onto the Nautilus, and that is a lovely passage of play for Secret.
Secret just with better coordination all across the board. Eddie just stepped under tower, and this has happened now on both sides of the map, that the enemy team, Luxury, has really overextended far too deeply to get the towers. First on top side, now on bot side. Jinx just stood there and took the punishment, took auto attack after auto attack from Eddie, and Eddie just right-clicked him to death. Even 1v2 under tower, because you can't attack Eddie while he's under tower, so... over-aggressive, overzealous plays from Luxury, that's what we're used to seeing, but Team Secret also punishing so nicely in this game so far.
Second Herald is on the Rift. This one Team Secret is interested in. They have their Malphite ult. They have everything up, ready to go, except the Renata, the big team fight ult, is missing. But do they pull the trigger regardless?
So much zoning from Artifact. Artifact's ult not available, he just got a kill in the last engagement, so they don't want a full altercation, I feel like, but Penguin just steals
it. Though. He sidesteps the hook as well, so he'll be able to pick up the eye very safely. CBL, that's just too deep, mate.
I really have to question this rune choice by CBL there. To be fair to him, he probably dies anyway if he goes Aftershock and goes in like that, but still, he's so squishy!
Oh, blazes! They find the LeBlanc, but the distortion is good. Hero now has to try and find a way out. I don't think it exists for him. It is traded back immediately onto Blazers, though. And considering they got a tower as well, they're fairly happy. As Team Secret further their gold lead.
It's just clean gameplay from Team Secret. Not clean in the sense that they never die, but they always have purpose behind what they're doing. They're still playing like a VCS team, very aggressively, looking for kills, looking for fights, but with a purpose. There's always coordination there, there's always a structure in their fights, in the micro department as well, but also in the macro department. They knew what they wanted to go for. This is just very impressive to see from this team.
It really is. This is Team Secret week after week, improvement after improvement. It's what we love to see. I'm so glad that we have other teams climbing up the ranks, getting to the point of looking almost as good as our top teams. Let's have a look at this fight and how it played out. I mean, we're not seeing much. This is only the end of it, but...
Yeah, this was one of the replays we really didn't need, because in the meantime, the Hextech Dragon was about to spawn, so looking at the setup would have been much more interesting. Now, it seems like Luxury has punished Team Secret for the overextension for the 2 towers. The Secret, in the end, paid the price for 2 towers. Just 1 Dragon is a fine price to pay. It's gonna put them behind on their Dragon Snowball schedule, but if you look at the items and the gold lead right now, actually the gold lead isn't too much, but if you especially look at the items of these late game carry champs and strong team fighters, you don't need to rely on the Dragon Snowball. You can still come back to it if it has to come into play later on. You're still on 2 Dragons to 1, so still looking nice in that department. But going for gold and map control in this case, I don't hate. I think focusing on the Dragon would have been fine too. But getting 2 mid towers will open up the map so much for the spawning objectives, like the Baron and the next few Dragons afterward.
For sure, and we do see this Malphite is getting Scare, and Scare has already completed the Frozen Heart. I'm glad Hero understands how good that item is. Always breaks my heart when tanks don't build Frozen Heart. But he is going to become more and more of a problem. Of course, Artifact as well, scaling up, has his full passive now completed, has had it for a little bit as well. And as we look at the gold gap in the mid lane, that's a 1,500 gold lead just in 1 lane.
And let's focus on this mid laner, because Artifact yesterday had one of the hardest carry performances we have seen in a while, especially for mid lane. No time for that though. Penguin in no man's land
is caught out, has the Viego ultimate to get a little bit of distance. It's enough, and the Renata ult holds CBL back. Penguin going extremely low. Can't get bailed out quite yet. Yes, he can. They're there. They get him in, and they've turned this around. Unbelievable scenes here as Luxury is unable to do anything. Eddie flashing over the trap line. He is here to put these criminals down as he's chasing in onto CBL, backed up by Zhu Hao. They can't go any further, but my word, what a save onto Penguin.
Yeah, and that almost feels like the end of the game there. Of course, it's still a rather close game in gold, but we've seen now multiple instances where the teamfights just look unwinnable for Luxury, and they were so close to shutting down Penguin, who's one of the main assets. Penguin actually really not moving in the correct direction there. Another flash from the ADCs.
Yeah, but he needs to turn it around. They need to turn. The bailout was on him, and they didn't think about it. So now Vit can move forward, has the speed, is chasing down onto Penguin. This is really bad. You don't want to give Jinx free kills. They needed to turn. Eddie was screwed. He had the bailout, though. They needed to turn around and try and get the revive.
Yeah, a little too greedy once again, but look at this. Zhu Hao's on the other side. If he just flashes towards Zhu Hao, he gets the bailout. They probably win the fight instantly. So huge mistake and misread from Penguin. Oh, no time for that. Another fight. Artifact is popping off.
Immediately come back. Yep, Artifact is a big boy. He has taken down Vit. CBL will be the next one on the chopping block and served for tea. And that opens up the Baron option with 2 off the map. 20 minutes is crested. Team Secret waste no time.
Well, we oftentimes talk about the weakest position in the VCS in international comparison, which is the mid lane. But Artifact is not having any of that. Killer Queen, good ultimate on him.
Zhuhao needs to be careful. He's really low, has to use his own bailout, so he's going to burn down. So it's a 1-for-1, but with a jungler dead, Baron is still very much on the cards. Eddie can hit it from over the wall. Blaze is threatening forward. Rocket comes in and takes out a mid laner. Baron's secured, but I'm beginning to think this might not have been worth it for Team Secret. They need to pick up a kill or two, and they need to get out safely. They don't do either. Only 2 of them get out of the pit.
A little bit of an overcommitment. I like that they stuck to the Baron and didn't try to disengage, because that could have ended even worse with the Baron going over to the other team when you disengage and have to go back to the base. So at least they saved the objective, but it's still a good result for Luxury, getting multiple kills on their important carries, shutting down Artifact and Penguin, who both had huge shutdowns, I believe. So that's more than just 2 kills, that's actually more 5 kills. So gold-wise, there was an even trade for the Baron. Once again, the issue is now back on the map with the resets. It's going to be a huge advantage in team fights and the Dragon setup for Team Secret with the Baron buff. Just Artifact smurfing. He has been on insane form the last 2 days, and maybe it's lucky for Secret to have this scheduling where he plays back-to-back games against Cerberus and then Luxury. But at the moment, he just looks like the best mid laner in the league.
Yeah, Artifact has been having a cracker of a split. But, don't get to talk about it. Guess we shouldn't talk about players. The caster curse was so real.
Not entirely sure what he was doing over there in the first place. Dragon is spawning, my friends. You should probably focus on the 3rd dragon, because the Baron is not going to lead to anything. You already have the 2nd mid lane tower. Enemy team is too strong to threaten anything beyond a 2nd tier tower, I think, at this stage. Baron nowadays is not really the objective to crack open the base if it's an even game state, so Dragon should have been the priority, but they might have squandered another one of those.
It's possible, but they do still have Hero's Ultimate. They do still have Penguin in position in the pit, and Killer Queen is playing very scared. There he goes, moving forward. Blanc into the backline. A lot of damage being dealt. They rip out the gas code. Hit the enemy team, and Hero finds the backline. They immediately assassinate Jinx, but now they need to keep Eddie safe from the Blazers' turnaround. He's only on
Artifact is here.
Health. Oh no, this is a big turnaround here for Luxury. Into the backline goes Jace. Not good enough though. Eddie able to lifesteal up off the blue buff, and Artifact has arrived. The Chaos Storm zaps down Blazers, puts out that fire, and Killer Queen, can you go?
He wants it.
Throws out a Q. They're just gonna wait, and that is a dragon for Team Secret. They are playing very, very well.
Once again salvaged by the hero of the weekend. Once again Artifact coming in after dying a little bit stupidly in the top lane. Luxury completely forgot about Artifact, but he just respawned and walked down the path with the Hextech gates, of course, getting there maybe quicker than Luxury accounted for, and suddenly the huge Victor shows up and destroys everything on the back half of the fight. It was actually looking quite perilous there for Team Secret. They were in a bad spot because Eddie wasn't in a position to hit anyone. But look at the combination of Zhuhao's ultimate and Hero's reaction. Zhuhao actually hits Jace, and Jace pokes down Vid. And instantly Hero follows up. So Vid is deleted from the fight just from support and top lane. 2 champs that are not supposed to deal damage just one-shot the enemy ADC. This can't happen, of course. You need to be more careful playing around chokes against Renata ult. You can't have your Jace stand right next to your ADC and the Jace just turning around and killing your ADC. That is not supposed to happen. So you need to be more careful. It's a new ability. It's still... people are still kind of exploring how to position against it effectively, how to play against the slow-moving projectile. But this is not how you do it.
No, it is not. You have to consider who you are about to murder on your own team. And
especially something like Jace that builds pure damage, getting 100% attack speed is devastating. It's
particularly because he also, I think he had just pressed W, so where he has those 3 like boom boom booms. So it was even worse. He was on the warpath. As another tower has fallen, and Team Secret bears down on the bottom lane. Of course, that Baron buff long since timed out. Blazers, very aggressive, goes low, but will survive.
Yeah, once again, we see a beautiful combo from Penguin and Zhu Hao. Zhu Hao is so on point with his CC and also where to put his spells. I love him on this Renata pick. He's by far the best Renata player in the league. He's also the earliest adapter of the Renata. He played it basically the week it came out. He was already on the Renata train, and it's really paying dividends for his team because they can build these Renata compositions. He's confident enough to take Renata into more difficult lanes. He even goes Ignite on Renata, which sounds ridiculous, but he's making it work. 2-2 and 11, much better performance than yesterday, where he had 17 deaths across 3 games.
Yeah, Zhu Hao in general has been really interesting to watch because he has a storied history. He's a veteran of the VCS, but not in this role. So seeing him adapt, moving away from the jungle and into support has been amazing. And now, Artifact in trouble as they're bearing down on him. They're committing it. Oh my god.
It was
he just flashed and walked away.
It was a low percentage play anyway. Can
Eddie. Moving forward onto Blazes. He doesn't have the ace in the hole, already used, but he doesn't need it as he just picks up the kill.
Yeah, Luxury is really just looking for any entrance into the game, anything they can do to find a kill on one of the important members. But I mean, to be honest, that was just jungler and support. You're never going to kill Artifact in that, especially with his itemization being very much about movement speed. Even if you lock him down for 3-4 seconds, that's not enough to complete the teleport.
BBL. Yeah, this is why we take Aftershock, and the gas comes out, doesn't quite catch onto Vit, but Penguin wants him anyway. Doesn't land the hook, does just go back out. Round 2 with Baron will begin. 5v3 on the map, I should say. At the moment, Eddie Low needs to find some lifesteal.
This is why you off-roll as jungler. You want to be able to play the other champs.
Whoa! That was a one-shot there onto Coded. I think you just have to give this Baron up. Maybe throw a Jinx rocket at it. But that's all about you have a chance to do. In goes the Malphite. You stayed too close, Luxury. Into the back line does go Killer Queen, trying to get an assassination. There is absolutely no chance of it as Artifact continues his role. The ace in the hole is there, and it's good.
Clean. Team Secret looking like a playoffs team. They are just looking like a playoffs team, beating down on worse teams. And we know, in this split at least, they have been very consistently beating the lower tier teams, almost always in the 2-0 as well. So this team is very good at punching down. They have tried to get better and actually be able to punch up as well, so far with little success until yesterday, where they finally overcame one of the top 3 teams. They are, in fact, now a top 3 team after winning against Cerberus. And what a performance to come back the day later with almost no practice time whatsoever, no preparation time either, and just smash Luxury to the ground. Luxury, who are still there to contest the player spots, not against Team Secret, but they still have a very slim chance.
I don't think they actually can. I think they actually can't make playoffs anymore, but what they can do is dodge relegations, which is arguably just as important. So this match does matter for Luxury. It 100% matters, but it matters a lot for Team Secret as well, as they chase the high of a possible 2nd place. And as the desk outlined, there is a shot. If they make 2nd, you don't have to play against Garm. And that's huge. But regardless, it is a catch onto Killer Queen. We saw before Coded being cleaned up. This is now 5v3, and they want people in him. Oh, baby! Oh, man. Hero, you got to pick the rock more often, as Artifact will pick up another kill, and Team Secret are just dominating.
And CBL is done with this game. He just stepped away from the ace in the hole. Could have blocked it for Vid, even had his flash ready, but he just took the gentleman's step back and let his ADC die to have this game over with, because it was a domination from